Another crazy day at International Fight Week today. I guess before we talk about the things that did happen, can you kind of maybe update us on what didn't happen with the main event? What happened with Amanda Nunes? Walk us through the whole process and just kind of can you give us the latest on her condition?
So after the weigh-in yesterday, she weighed in, she made weight. Then leading up to the ceremonial weigh-ins, I got a call that she wasn't feeling well. And it was questionable whether she was going to show up to the ceremonials because the doctor needed to see her and, you know, they needed to find out what was going on with her. So she does them. Everything's good. This morning I wake up and I hear that she's not feeling well again and she wants to, no, she's not feeling well again and she's probably not going to fight. So I asked the doctors what's wrong with her. She was medically cleared. She was physically okay. They found nothing wrong with her. But she didn't feel right.
And she just says, so I'm not going to fight? I mean, she refuses to fight? I mean, I know you can't, I guess you can't physically make somebody.
No, you can't make anybody fight. It's not that she, you know, is like, I'm just absolutely refusing to fight. She said, I don't feel right. I don't feel good. I think that it was, you know, 90% mental and maybe 10% physical. You know, she probably didn't feel right. I mean, I think a lot of fighters have had times where they don't feel right, and then we've had guys who are outright sick. You know, there's situations like our maniac Cowboy Cerrone, who, you know, calls me last week or 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was. He's got staph infection in his knee, and he pulled his groin. You know, he had a bruise from the inside of his knee all the way up to the top, and he's like, but you know what? The doc's saying, but it's true. Dr. Davidson was saying, you know, we're getting him the antibiotics that he needs, and he'll be ready to go by that night. And I was like, I said, you don't want to fight Robbie Lawler in this condition, so let's push it back 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever it is. And we did. You know, these situations arise all the time. I don't know if I've ever had a situation like today, though, you know, where she was, you know, physically capable of fighting.
So, I mean, she's on a fantastic run, but how does that impact, I mean, does that concern you moving forward? Like, can I put this woman in a main event slot? And
yeah, I won't do that again. I won't main event that title again.
And it sounds like you said earlier today, maybe Edmonton for the reschedule for this fight. What needs to happen to make that official? I mean, is that the plan for sure, or is it still kind of up in the air?
No, that's the plan. We're working on it. That's what I would say. We would do that. Makes sense.
Hey, Dana, I just wanted to ask you, a couple people asked me about Amanda and your decision, or not your decision, but since she didn't fight and Dr. Davidson cleared her, did you consider stripping her of the title at all? Was that ever a factor?
No, I didn't consider that. We didn't pay her.
Right. And just, you know, how do you deal with those kind of situations when, you know, you've had it before, like when you're going through it, to strip the fighter or not to strip the fighter? Like, what's the thought process? How do you work through that?
When you're going through stripping a fighter?
Yeah, because she, you know, she's cleared to fight, so the doctor's saying she's healthy enough, and then she says, I don't want to fight. Like, so I'm not trying to be harsh because I think I think
hey,
the right thing.
That's a great question. You know. It's a great question, and you know, we've never seen anything like this from her before. You know, there's no pattern of her refusing to fight somebody, or you know, those are the type of situations. I mean, where, you know, I'll read something where a guy says, "Yeah, I refuse to fight this guy." You know. I'll tell you, it just happened with DJ. We have a fight for this guy. You know, it's for his you know, his chance to break the record. Is a very credible guy that wants to fight, and the guy's cutting weight, getting ready, and all this stuff, and he's absolutely refusing to fight him. So that's when I sit there and start going, well, first of all, you're the pound for pound best fighter in the world, number one. Number two, you know, you're on X amount of defenses, and you're absolutely refusing to fight somebody. When there's a pattern of that, then I start looking at stripping again.
Dana, going back to Nunes, was it a weight cut issue? Do you know?
Was what a weight?
I'm over here. On the,
Amanda?
Yeah.
No.
Not over.
No. I'm not saying that she might not have been affected by the weight cut, but she was healthy.
It does seem like a lot of weight cutting things have kind of messed up cards for you guys lately.
It's true.
That's something that you guys want to address. Obviously, CSAC is kind of addressing it, but anything that you guys can do?
Well, you know, weight cutting's always been a problem, and it always will be. But the Performance Institute's going to help a lot of that. Really, really is.
And just last thing, Jess Guy was here ready to fight last night. Was there any consideration to have her come in and fight Valentina tonight?
No. You know, when you get somebody who's you know, she's prepared mentally and physically for the fight that night, and the fight doesn't happen, usually puts these fighters in it. So who knows what she did that night, you know, or where she went, or what the deal was. Plus, the reality is that there was, you know, the champ was not hurt. She's not hurt. It's not something that's going to keep her out for months. So you just, like Cerrone and Lawler, you just push it back and try to make the fight another time. It's the thing. It's what makes the most sense. It's like Joanna Jędrzejczyk was like terrorizing me to make this fight for her tonight, but it just, you can't do it. It's too hard to do. You can't make a fight in hours. Plus the medicals that she would have needed to go through, and you know, it's tough to do.